It's time for the Daily Stand Up Podcast presented by Agile Dad with your host, Lee Henson. Without any further ado, let's get started. I recently received another email from my dear friend Mike Cohn. Let me tell you, this guy is a rock star. I almost called him a goat, but then that would have been like a mountain goat. I don't know. He is a goat in my opinion. He's the greatest of all time. And his email was regarding increasing stakeholder and team member engagement right from the start. So I thought I'd just read along and chime in just like I normally do. So here we go. Without any further ado, let's get started. Do you struggle to engage the right people in product development? I think most of us have. You are not alone. Thank goodness. Development team members sometimes view their jobs as things to be endured. They want to get through an 8-hour day, go home, and then do the things that really give them purpose. Customers sometimes really want the end result product, but hate the process of getting there. Can't we just wave a magic wand and get what I want? I remember specifically, I had an organization that called me in and they said, Lee, they said, we love what we're doing, but can't we just like take what we're currently doing, our current process, and agilify it? Can't we just sprinkle some scrum dust on it and make it scrummy? And at first I thought they were kidding, but when I realized they were serious, I was really, really concerned. So I think what we're going for here is increased engagement. So increasing engagement in both the team members and the stakeholders leads to better products. Achieving that level of engagement can be difficult. Indeed, it can. One of the ways that I get people excited about a project from the start is to involve everyone in a story writing workshop at some point. Now, I love this idea. In fact, one of the things that I talk about is that the initial story creation workshop should be done with Po Ba Fa Ta, but that at some point you want to make sure the team has representation, if not the whole team, as part of the workshop. That means I want programmers, testers, designers, analysts, DBAs, tech writers, and so on to participate. Now, notice he said participate, it doesn't necessarily mean all at the same time. The Scrum Master, product owner, and key stakeholders should also be there as well. I do not advise holding a story writing workshop for every sprint. Thank goodness. I recommend doing one every quarter, every 3 months or so. Each story writing workshop should be focused on a strategic objective or two that's just larger than a sprint. Now, this makes a lot of sense. This is exactly what I've been teaching my classes for a number of years, that you should do the quarterly story writing workshop and you can do a weekly backlog grooming or refinement to help you get it polished. But you don't want to do everything. You're not trying to boil the ocean in these workshops. You're just trying to get people to be on the same page and talk. Sure, the product owner and the team can adjust this plan from iteration to iteration, which is what I just kind of said. But if a team doesn't have a large goal in mind, their work is often sub-optimized as they go from this iteration's crisis to the next iteration's crisis, and it just becomes crisis management. You may think it'll be wasteful to include development team members in that quarterly story writing workshop, but it definitely isn't. I agree. So I consider it an investment. Sure, team members get less done for a day, the day of the workshop, but that pays back quickly because then team members know more about the work they'll do. Questions always arise when team members begin work on a product backlog item, but if the team members are present when a story was created, they have more context and fewer questions. Encouraging participation when defining a set of features also leads to greater engagement when building those features. I'm going to throw one more out there. The team feels like they had their head or skin in a game and they're more invested. They feel like they take ownership better if you include them in the story writing workshop. I find that ownership is a big deal. Conducting approximately quarterly story writing workshops with the team and stakeholder participation sets a project on a clear path to succeed with Agile. Mike, you are 100% spot on here, my friend. I can't tell you how many times I tell people the number one problem in organizations, the number one problem I see organizations face is their inability to write correctly sized stories that are easily consumable. And I think that this tool that you're mentioning, this story writing workshop, this has been part of my Agile Planning Success Guide for years, my Agile Coaching Playbook. This has been part of every single thing that I've done in organizations. And I do encourage the participants to break it down into 2 sessions. One, where the Po, Ba, Fa, Ta, product owner, business analyst, functional analyst, and technical analyst take time to initiate a story or talk about at a very high level what types of stories might be needed. And then the improved or increased workshop, where we encourage everybody to visit once a quarter to actually help compose those items, break things down, and answer any questions. That's going to do it for this episode. And thanks, Mike, you're awesome sauce. If you have something you want us to talk about, reach out to us at learnmoreanagiledad.com. We would love to hear from you. And as always, we encourage you to stay healthy, stay well, and stay agile, my friends. Until next time, do take care.